by the grace of Sri Ramakrishna and also to Lord Sri Krishna, we are going to stream our today's program, that is Janmashtami celebration, and we are very happy that we have got our Honorable Secretary, Dr. Arun Kanti Vishwash with us. The first program is like this, that formally Dr. Vishesh will announce. Initially, there will be one stotra by Ms. Sonal Pramani. This is the Madan Mohan Ashtakam. Dr. Vishesh will say one or two words, and then the program will be live accordingly. Dr. Vishesh, please.
Namaskar. Starting our Janmashtami birthday of this the whole India. We are performing this function at Janmashtami, and it is wonderfully house. And like this small ball, the form of the always we are enjoying is Janmashtami in this Dr. Vivekananda's house.
Vivekananda Institute of Environment Management.
Now you enjoy this program. Morning, we already
Mangalarti and Puja.
Now
we have Arti. The first program is by Madan Mohan Ashtakam by Miss Sonal Pramani. Sonal comes from a very, very devoted Ramakrishna cult family, and they are very much service oriented. So, Sonal, please. The next program is Arati in front of Lord Vasudeva and also Sinaji. Om Pranaya Swaha, Apanaya Swaha, Om Vyanaya Swaha, Udanaya Swaha, Om Samanaya Swaha. Idam Paramanam Sri Gopijana Vallabhaya Sri Krishnaya Nivedayami. Imani Phalgulani Sri Gopijana Vallabhaya Sri Krishnaya Nivedayami. Imani Mishtannani Gopijana Vallabhaya Sri Krishnaya Nivedayami. our today's topic is Sri Krishna and Srimad Bhagavad Gita. In Indian spiritual sector, we have seen Bhagavan Vishnu has 10 avatars, and Sri Krishna is considered as Bhagavan Swayam. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. There is another mantra, Sarvadevan Namaskaran Keshavam Pratigachati. Whatever salutations are offered to all the deities, it will ultimately go to Bhagavan Keshava, Bhagavan Krishna. So let us start our discussion with the selected renderings from Gita. Initially, we will start few slokas of Gita Dhyan. Harihi Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarashinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambo Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. We can explain the selected renderings from Gita Dhyana, but the Sanskrit is so lucid and so simple that I think that it is not necessary. The first one is that Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam. I have already told that Sri Krishna is considered as Narayana Swayam. Sri Krishna is not just the avatar. Sri Krishna is Bhagavan Swayam. And what is the historical development of this particular scripture, the Bhagavad Gita? That it is actually Vyasena Grathitam, like a garland. The slokas are being tucked in by Bhagavan Sri Veda Vyas, so that people of different ages, including the modern ages, they can have the developments of their spiritual life, and they will ultimately have the realization, which is the goal considered in our ancient scriptures. Mukam karoti vachalam. Those are dumb. They can speak fluently. How? This is because of the grace of Sri Krishna, Sri Bhagavan. Pangum langhate girim. Those are the handicapped. They can climb the hills. How? Yat kripa tamaham bande paramananda madhavam. Let us bow down to the Bhagavan Krishna, the Madhavam, so that we can attain by his grace these capabilities. Now, the thing is that why this Gita is so much important. There are different, you can say, bhashyas. There are different tikas in different ages. There are so many explanations. But let us consider a very simple utterance of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna says that what is the essence of Gita? Gita Sharki. If you repeat the name Gita several times, then you will get the essence of Gita. How? If we repeat Gita, 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 then Gita becomes Tagi. And that Tagi is nothing but Tyagi. That is the sacrifice. That is the sacrifice. It comes from the Sanskrit root Tyaj, which means that sacrifice. That means this sacrifice is the essence of Gita, and sacrifice is the essence of Upanishad as well. Upanishad says, Mundaka Upanishad, Tyage naike amritatva manashuhu, that by means of Tyaga, one can attain immortality. So that is the essence of Upanishad, Vedanta, and Gita has got 18 chapters. So 18 chapters are the paths, 18 paths you can say, where you can attain that goal. So we can say that each chapter is considered as yoga. So there are 18 yogas, 18 chapters, 18 yogas, that is the vehicles for going to the goal. And from that standpoint, Gita is considered as the unification of ones, that means those are the spiritual seekers with that goal. The spiritual seekers can attain goal, and that is the by means of yoga, all 18 yogas. And this yoga is that has come from Sanskrit root that is known as Yujire Yoge. Yujire Yoge. That means that it means the yoke, or you can say the unification of the spiritual seeker and its goal. So that is the yoga. In Gita, in most of the chapters, in almost you can say all 17 chapters, this is the meaning the Gita derives, that is the unification with the goal, the supreme goal. Except in 6th chapter, that Atma Sanyama Yoga, there Gita says that it is not actually yoga, it is biyoga. So it is not positive, it is negative. Let me utter this particular mantra, particular sloka, that tam vidyat dukkha sanyogam biyogam yoga sangitam. Tam vidyat dukkha sanyogam biyogam yoga sangitam. So this is the 23rd verse of the 6th chapter, Atma Sanyama Yoga, or in some authors they say as the Dhyana Yoga. So that means what? That means if you can restrain all your senses, if you can control all your senses, then that type of activities, that ultimately that will lead to the ultimate goal. So that is the sense that in Gita, that is only once it is considered in case of the negative items. That means you should withdraw everything from the different spheres of life, and if you can concentrate on your path, then ultimately you will get realization. That is the idea. Now, out of these 18 chapters, the 18 paths of yoga, or in terms of our modern scientific terminology, you can say the vehicles which will lead you to the goal. So the 4 yogas are very important: the karma yoga, the jnana yoga, the bhakti yoga, and the Swami Vivekananda says in Gita also it is there, the Raja Yoga. That means these are the four yogas. And naturally, Gita, it is actually the samanvaya of this four yoga. How the samanvaya is there in Gita? So let us see in the Karma Yoga. I am reciting one slok. Tasmat asakta satatam karyam karma samachara asakta hyacharan karma paramapnoti purushaha. So, Sri Bhagavan, Krishna is telling Arjuna that you should do your work without the fruits of the work. That means you should not view, you should not strive on the fruits of work. That means if you do it in terms of the anasakta, if you becomes anasakta, if you don't have any attraction towards the fruit, towards the follow of that karma, then you will attain the supreme goal. So that is the meaning of this sloka. So that means by means of karma yoga, one can attain the goal. Then what about the other yogas? I am reciting one slok. Ye tvaksharam anideshyam avyaktam pariyupasate sarvatra gamachintyancha kutastham achalam dhruvam sanyamendriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhayah te prapnuvanti mamevo sarvabhutahite rata. If a person, he restrains all his senses and he or she thinks that all are equal and worships what? Akshara, Aniddeshya, Avyakta, Sarvavyapi, Achinta, Kutastha, Achala, Nirgun Brahma, then he will attain that goal. So this is actually the goal of Jnana Yoga, the knowledge, the path of knowledge. And then in Bhakti Yoga, in the actually in 11th chapter 54th sloka, Sri Bhagavan says, Bhaktya tvananyaya shakya ahamevam vidho Arjuna Natum drashtum cha tattena praveshtum cha parantapa. Sri Bhagavan says only by the supreme devotion one can know my actual Swarupa. In another place he says that Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayakshati. That patra, the leaves, pushpa, flower, fall, or toyam, even only water. But what is the main criteria? Yome bhaktya prayachati. Who is offering all these things with supreme devotion. So that man, that fellow can attain me. So that is through Bhakti Yoga. And then in 5th chapter, 27th sloka, this is for Raja Yoga. Sparshan kritva bahir bahyan chakshishchaivantare bhrubah pranapano samo kritva nasabhyantaracharino yatendriya mano buddhi munir moksha parayanaha bigatecha bhaya krodho yasada mukta evacha. Sri Bhagavan says that all the senses that you are to restrain, and then this is the path of the formal meditation, how we perform meditation, that by means of the pranayama. So if we do like that, then with utmost sincerity, then we will get the actual goal. So that is the idea. So it is very clear that all the four yogas, I initially we discussed that there are 18 yogas, 18 paths. Now we have come out of that, 18 paths. The four are the prime yogas, the karma yoga, the gnana yoga, the bhakti yoga, and the raja yoga. That means the somatic systems. So those activities by restraining your mind. So by means of that, one can attain the goal. So that was the idea. Now you see that here is one very important issues in our today's circumstances. You see, last 1.5 years, because of this coronavirus, the whole world is devastated, and that consequence. There are so many things happening. Somebody one day he or she was alive, the next day he was not there. And Sri Bhagavan says that Maivete nihata purvameva nimitta matram bhavasabhya sachin. All these things, in this material world, in this living world, what you see, so that is not actually what you see, it is not like that. Maivete nihata purvamevo. After showing the Vishwarupa Darshana, Sri Bhagavan says that all those that you are thinking that you are killing, that Arjuna was under great delusion that I have to kill all my relatives. So Maivete nihata purvamevo. All these creatures, so they were dead by me. That means killed by me. So you should be nimitta matram. You should be witness only. Nimitta matram bhavasabhya sachin. So whenever we do any such work, particularly in our work field, where people are very much sometimes it is not much congenial. It is not much. You can say the palatable. So there, this particularly, even in coronavirus situation, so whatever is happening, so one should be having the nimitta matram. So one should be having the concept of this. It should imbibe the concept of this witnesshood. So these are some of the things. Some of the slokas we discussed, and ultimately, initially we have seen that Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Jujutsava Mamaka Pandavashchaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. So Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjay that what happened. My sons and the Pandavas, so what they did, how they fought, like that. And then the last sloka, that is the Arjuna says that Nashtamoho Smritir Labdha Tat Prasadan Maichito Sitosmi Gata Sandeho Karishye Vachanam Tavo. This is the Arjuna statement. Arjuna has got the full confidence on Sri Krishna that whatever has been done, so that is because of this. This is, you can say, Bhakta says the Leela of Sri Krishna. The Gnani says that this is nothing. The whole world is non-existent, and we see in terms of the witnesshood. So we discussed a few points on Bhagavad Gita, in a very I can say briefly. Hope we will try to imbibe these concepts in our life, so that our life will be meaningful and we can ultimately get the Asirvada of Sri Bhagavan Sri Krishna. With this salutation, let us close this particular lecture. Om Niranjanam नित्यमनन्तरूपं भक्त्यानुकम्पाधितविग्रहं वै ईशावतारं परमेशमीड्यं तं रामकृष्णं शिरसा नमामि।